What's going on, Atlanta? I'm your host, Stacey Cole Morgan, and you are listening to the Morgan Man Sports Podcast here on Good Pod HQ, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasting from. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about the Atlanta Falcons confirming that they will add a quarterback, potentially with the 8th pick or any other pick, but we will have a quarterback picked in this year's draft. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about why I believe the role change from Arcitys and Cellium switching roles is a great idea for both players and the Atlanta FaZe team. So without any further delay, let's go to get straight into today's action. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into all that, I want to get into some breaking news right here that the Atlanta Hawks have officially been eliminated from the playoffs from the Miami Heat. Lost 97-94 last night in Miami, or 2 nights ago, I should say. So the Hawks season is done. It's over. They only won 1 game out of the entire series, and that was their first home game back in Atlanta for game 3. So definitely this Hawks team is it's a great team. It really is, but they're just missing a lot of pieces, and some of the pieces that they do have are getting injured, like Clint Capella and all them, Boogie Vodanovich, all them. So if this team can really stay healthy and possibly draft a kind of like a Trae Young superstar in the NBA draft or go out in free agency and get someone, I think this team can definitely compete for the NBA title next year. Like, I strongly believe so, because this is 2 years in a row where Nate McMillan has brought the Atlanta Hawks to the playoffs. Last year, we made it to the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. And now this year, of course, we made it to round 1. So I still feel like this is an accomplishment from who you had back 2 years ago. You weren't making the playoffs. You're way below 500. And now you're 2 years in a row of being above 500 and making the playoffs. You just got to adjust some things here and there, not a complete overhaul, and boom, your team is going to be competing for the NBA championship. So this has been a great season for the Atlanta Hawks. Again, just go fix out some things in free agency and in the draft, and you should be able to compete next year and be healthy at the same time. All right, so now let's go ahead and get into the Atlanta Falcons news, ladies and gentlemen, and that is Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith has pretty much just came out and confirmed that they are taking a quarterback this year. Who that may be, I have no idea. We're going to find out tonight when the Falcons are on the clock with that 8th overall pick. Now, me personally, the Falcons has never been really a team to move up much. And I really don't expect them to really do it now. But then again, this is still the new regime right here. And who knows, they could shock the world and trade all their picks for the number 1 overall pick with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who knows, but that would be insanely crazy. But going throughout this entire quarterback class right here, I just don't think this is the year. You got Matt Corral, you got Kenny Pickett's and all them, and they're great talents. But are they that star-studded quarterback that everybody just drools over? No. And I'm not saying that these guys can be starters in the NFL, but they're just not that likely name to be broadcasted on national television. Oh, Matt Corral, 5-time Super Bowl champion, 4-time Pro Bowler. No, nothing like that. But with this new coaching staff right here, they're willing to take these chances that, the old regime did not. And I can respect that. And who knows, maybe that Matt Khalil, if I'm not pronouncing that right, from Liberty University, if they select him and he does really great, boom, we got us a signal caller that can really take command of the field, read the defenses, and win us a few games, possibly even a Super Bowl. But that is way, way ahead of its time right there. So, guys, what do you think about the Atlanta Falcons already solidifying that they are picking a quarterback this year? Do you like the idea, or do you think they should wait at least till next year's draft, whenever there's at least some more names coming out instead of just like this year? So now moving on over to the very last subject of today's podcast, ladies and gentlemen, and that is why I believe the role changes for Cellium and Arcitys for the Atlanta FaZe make sense. So everybody knows before the All-Star break here, Cellium was your flex role, and Arcitys was your main AR. Well, basically that roles has been switched to where now Cellium is the main AR and Arcitys is that flex role. I think it makes perfect sense because Cellium, he is the highest graded Atlanta FaZe player to date. Hell, he's even fourth in the fantasy scores at an 82.39. And he's leading charts in like hardpoint, kill death ratio, S&D, control, all that. Now where Arcitys comes in at, Arcitys definitely is the control player. And he can, sometimes manipulate the game in S&D and hardpoint. And actually, Arcitys is sitting 11th overall in fantasy scores, sitting at 64.12. So these two are definitely great players. That is contributing a lot to the team and the team's success. But Atlanta FaZe is falling short here and there in the grand finals of the major tournaments. So if you put Cellium in that main AR role, he's still going to run and gun like he was a flex. But he's going to be able to have that trigger finger that really helps him in this advantage going to main AR. Cellium is going to be able to adapt to this main AR role. He's going to stay back just a little bit further away more than usual to get those clean shots. And if he has to go like face to face, like close action, he's got that trigger finger to honestly win that 1v1. And that's why I trust Cellium in this main AR role. Arcitys, he's shined every once in a while, going just berserks, like running all over the map and being up close in these 1v1s. And you give him that SMG, he's going to totally dominate you. And he's got the IQ of knowing what angle, what position, whatever you're doing, he already knows what you're doing. Now, I can't say so much for really Abizi right now, because Abizi has been lackluster here as of late compared to his Cold War season. So, really needs to kind of step up in that role. Simp is just Simp. He has his bad games. He has his really great games. He's been having more great games than really bad, but still though, the Tiny Terrors, something just needs to be tweaked within the gameplay system itself with them. But yes, Cellium going to main AR. I can see it right now. The very first match that they do have, it's going to be Cellium. It's going to be not camping, but he's going to be posted up just back a little bit further away from his teammates, getting those long angle shots and being that signal caller, saying, all right, we got Scump headed left downstairs to the main hill. And while you got Arcitys in the hard point or control center, whatever, and he's getting the kills left and right. And if someone is coming out of a building after killing Arcitys, boom, you got Cellium from that distance gunning them down. I think this makes perfect sense. Their Cellium stats is definitely going to go up big time right here. I am actually pulling up their stats right now. So Cellium from the Major 2 tournament, and I'm on breakingpoint.gg as well. All right, we're going to clear all this out. I'm on my laptop doing this, by the way. All right, so we're just going to do multiple values. on breakingpoint.gg. You can find this on Google. I'll leave the link down in the description below. You guys to check that out. But anyways, so Cellium, he's coming in with an overall 1.22 KD, and he leads the entire CDL with a 1.22 KD. Hardpoint is a 1.27, S&D is a 1.30, and Control is a 1.12. Cellium is that difference maker, and you put him on main AR now, I could honestly see his stats, well, for KD at least, go up by at least maybe 10%. 10% at most. And then Arcitys, he sits third overall in his team with a 0.99 overall KD, 1.04 in hardpoint, 0.99 in S&D, and 0.93 in Control. Now with him going with that flex role, I could see maybe at least 5% increase in his overall KD. So that would definitely put him well over the 1.0 KD mark, and make him a better player. But as far as the team goes, Cellium is, of course, number 1, Simp is number 2, Arcitys 3, Abizi is 4th. And you can sort of count Brasini in this category, being number 5, but we're really not talking about your backup. So guys, what do you think? Do you think this main AR flex role for Cellium and Arcitys being switched around is a great thing for the Atlanta FaZe? Or do you think this is going to hurt them long term? Again, my opinion. I think this is going to help them long term. Again, Cellium is trigger finger, happy, whatever. He can win these 1v1s with an AR. He's also got the snaking, slide canceling, and he's also abusing the little glitch that's in the game where if you aim down sights through like a wall that you could shoot through, if it stiffens up right there, he knows that you are there. And Cellium is definitely using that to his advantage, and it's not breaking the rules. He knows how to manipulate the game in its own way and get away with it from the league officials. Arcitys, again, him going to flex definitely helps out, because the times that he has shined, and it's been very rare, and I would love to see more of it, is whenever he starts letting loose, starts running around all over the map, going on a killing spree. That's a flex player. A main AR is to stay back just a little bit, not too far, and get your kills, be that signal caller. So again, guys, what do you think? Do you think this will help the Atlanta FaZe, or do you think it will hurt the Atlanta FaZe long term, or do we need a complete overhaul? So again, guys, that is all the time for today's show. I sure hope you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to like button wherever you are listening from. Guys, we are now just one episode away from episode 300. And I cannot thank you guys enough. Definitely, I got a little surprise for you guys coming on that 300th episode, which will be happening next Thursday. So stay tuned about that. And who knows? Maybe it'll happen for you. Maybe it won't. So again, just stay tuned. If you did make it all the way through this episode, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Please leave a 5-star rating on GoodPod HQ and Spotify. It sure does help me out. And until then, guys, I, Morgan, will catch you all later. Peace.